Hey Mama, welcome to the podcast. My name is Jocelyn and I am delighted that you are here, that you are taking time to fill your mind with positive mindset exercises, with things that are going to help you and in your pregnancy and your mind throughout pregnancy to find more positivity. These things and these exercises carry over from pregnancy. You can still use them in motherhood, but pregnancy just tends to be that much of a harder season. And I hope that as you use these, you are finding success in intentionally finding positivity, intentionally getting rid of that negativity that is weighing you down and making your life miserable. You can do this, Mama. I am cheering for you. Let's jump into today's episode. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, fellow mom of 5 and host of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find the positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life. And I can help you. Let's find positivity during our pregnancies and in our motherhood together. Thanks for joining. I've been feeling that I have more I wanted to say on the topic of last week's episode for my pregnancy ones. On Friday, I do pregnancy episodes, and on Tuesdays, I do a more motherhood-focused episode. And in my last pregnancy episode, I was talking about how when birth doesn't go as planned and how to kind of mentally get through that, how to heal, exercises that can help you when you're struggling with wishing things would have gone differently. And those are very powerful, and I encourage you, if you haven't listened to that episode, to listen to it, even if you are pregnant, because it can help your mindset. Today, I wanted to give you a couple of encouragements and also talk about expectations for birth. So the encouragements are, just because your birth maybe doesn't or didn't go as planned, doesn't mean you are less of a woman. I know sometimes that it can feel like you are not strong if you don't do the things that you want to, or that if it doesn't, like if you end up caving for an epidural and you weren't wanting an epidural, it can maybe feel like you're not tough and you couldn't bear it and you're just not as much of a woman or not as strong as other women. And that is so not true. And I don't want you to think that thought. I know, though, that as a woman, you do think that thought, because I have thought that thought. I caved for the epidural twice, and I did have those reoccurring thoughts, like, wow, you weren't very strong, Jocelyn. You had to get an epidural at a 5 and at a 7. Like, you're not very tough. And anyway, I mentally did tell myself that, and it's not serving you, Mama, and it's taken me years to learn that, but it doesn't serve you to tell yourself that you are not strong, so don't do it. Do your best not to do it, and if those thoughts do come, I want you to change them. I want you to shift them and to think of areas that you were strong. Think of areas, even if it's not related to pregnancy, that you have been very strong. And instead of dwelling in things that you didn't do as you wanted to, you can dwell in the areas that you have been strong. And remind yourself that you are strong. You just had a baby. Like, that is no simple feat. Even with an epidural, even with a C-section, however you had your baby, that is equivalent, I've heard it said before, equivalent to running a marathon. But in a different type of way. And your body grew that baby for 9 months. You are strong. Your body is amazing. And hold on to those thoughts. Your body has the potential, and if you're nursing your baby, you are not only feeding you are feeding your baby. And even if you're bottle feeding your baby, that is amazing too, because it still takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to get up in the night, to warm the bottles up and do the right things for your baby. Mama, there is no one exactly right way. There are ways that are right for you, though. So listen to your intuition on what is right for you and for your baby in this season. Now, many of you that are listening to this episode, I realize are pregnant, and that is what I wanted the second half of this episode to be about, is the expectations for birth while being pregnant. And this is another one I had to learn the hard way. I had a baby via emergency C-section 9 weeks early. Totally unplanned, totally was dying, actually. I had to be rushed to the emergency room. I did not want a C-section. That is not how I wanted my first birth to go, and it was very traumatic. And I ironically had done a birth class with a sister-in-law, way earlier than we probably should have done. I think we did the birth class. She was a little farther along than me, but around 20 weeks, and I had the baby at 31 weeks. And I do remember from that class, they talked about sometimes emergencies happen, and you can't really get around that. And I didn't recall that till after I came to that I was one of those situations, and it was hard. It was very discouraging because I didn't feel a contraction. I didn't remember having my baby. I did not get to hold him right away. In fact, it wasn't until the next day that they wheeled me in there to look at him, and I don't think I got to hold him until the day after that. And it just didn't go as planned. And there have been other births of mine that just didn't go quite as planned either. And I want you to know that it is so good to strive for ideals that you want to reach. One of the ideals I wanted to reach was a non-medicated birth. And so with my fourth baby, I put a lot of time and effort into preparing my mind, preparing my body, doing things to prepare for her birth. And it ended up working that I did have her unmedicated, but it was very traumatic. It was me screaming in the hospital at 2 a.m, and it did not go the way I wanted. I mean, the thing that did go right was that it was unmedicated. I did want that, and I worked hard for that. In fact, I have a whole episode on that. I'll just share that birth story in the episode without going into too many details, but this is what I want to learn by telling you how I have been able to, over time, reach some ideals, but I've also had to lower my expectations. So I would have high hopes. Like for my fourth baby, when I was doing all the things to try and do it unmedicated, I had those high expectations. But because of what I have been through, I also realized that a lot of it, or some of it, not a lot of it, I would say some of it was out of my control. And that is just something we as humans have to work with and handle as it comes, because I was way unprepared for having a baby at 31 weeks. I didn't know I had any issues in my pregnancy. It just happened real fast. I was wheeled in there, and it was life or death, take me and baby, or take baby out of me, or we were both gone. And how grateful I am for that modern medicine. Wow, I am so grateful. Nonetheless, that is a mindset thing that you can work through, is to, yes, work for your high ideals, but also realize it's okay if things don't go as planned, because you can get through it. God, angels on earth, people who are helping you through birth can help you through whatever hard and difficult situation you come up against. So that is my moral, my lesson for today's episode, specifically for those who are still pregnant, is to, yes, work for those ideals that you desire in your pregnancy. But yes, open your mind that some of it's out of your control, and do your research so that when that time comes, hopefully you are able to make the correct decision for you and your baby. Information can help you. It helps you not to be subject to what the doctor's whims are. Now, I am so grateful I was at the doctor's whims for my first baby, but I wish I would have made a little bit more educated decisions for a couple of my other babies. Nonetheless, I have learned. And that's also another tip, is learn. Get educated on C-sections, get educated on epidurals, get educated on nitrous oxide or the things like you can use to help you during birth. Know what you want to turn to if it does get tough, or what kind of coping things you want to do. Mama, birth is hard. It is a difficult thing we as women are asked to go through. But we can prepare and we can get through it. We can do better and better each time. My 5th baby, the birth was amazing. It was way more empowering. It wasn't traumatic. It was still very tight and intense at the end. Nonetheless, I handled it better than the first baby. And that's sometimes how we learn, is little by little, pregnancy by pregnancy. And don't give up hope or faith that just because you failed or your mind thinks you failed, you did not. You have a baby. You are going to have a baby. Have those expectations, but realize things can change. So I hope that was encouraging. I hope I didn't repeat myself or confuse you at all. I just really want to encourage you in this aspect, because it can be very heavy mentally if you have high expectations for birth and you don't meet hardly any of them. I know because I felt it, and I want better for you. So do your best to implement the things I've talked about in this episode in preparing for your birth. And if you have had your birth, use the mental tips at the beginning, remembering that you are strong, that your body did amazing things in growing this baby and is doing amazing things in growing your baby if you are still pregnant. So if you want more help, I have got that Feel It to Heal It video I talked about in the last episode. It is for free. So if you are going through some negative emotions in regards to birth or worrying, download that video. Give it a try. It is me. These videos that I have on my website are me speaking from my heart to things I have learned during pregnancy to help other women out. That one is free, and I've got 2 others that are free, and I hope that you will check them out. They are my 3 most favorite. All of them are good, but if you'll at least take those 3 free ones and use them during your pregnancy, I think you will find great shifting towards more positivity and enjoying this pregnancy. We will chat again next week, Mama. Keep up the good work. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts and becoming the mother that you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. Thanks for joining. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward in your motherhood. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.